So right now, if your bins aren't collected, your road is full of potholes, or a housing development is being pushed through, you can go straight to a district councillor who lives in your area and represents a small community. Under Labour's new plan, though, your town loses its council and gets absorbed into a much larger regional authority. So instead of a local representative who knows your area, you'll be one of hundreds of thousands competing for attention from a council that sees your town as just another dot on a map. Housing and transport decisions will also be pulled further away from local control. Right now, district councils can block large developments if local infrastructure like roads, schools, and hospitals aren't prepared for the extra demand. Under the new system, however, those decisions will be made regionally, where economic growth takes priority over local concerns. If a regional mayor wants a mass housing project to attract investment, it will go ahead whether your town supports it or not. The same goes for public transport. Bus routes in smaller towns could be cut as funding is redirected towards bigger cities. Rural areas could be left with fewer services, while cities receive investment in major transport hubs. The Labour Party argues that directly elected mayors will make decision making more democratic, but in reality, it's the exact opposite. Instead of a council of elected representatives debating local issues, one person will hold all the power, backed by unelected advisors. Once in office, a mayor won't need local approval to push through big decisions. If they cut services, approve mass developments, or prioritise urban growth over rural communities, there will be very little that anyone can do to stop them. Parish councils will technically remain, but with less funding and no real influence. Without district councils backing them, they'll be reduced to advisory bodies rather than decision makers. Labour calls this devolution, but really it's about removing barriers to central control. Unitary councils and mayors will still rely on Westminster for funding, so the central government will dictate spending and policy. The real winners from this policy are property developers like Berkeley Group, infrastructure firms like SSE, and financial institutions like Barclays and HSBC. They all prefer to deal with one large authority that can approve projects quickly rather than multiple district councils that might slow things down with local objections. For you, this means less representation, fewer elected officials fighting your corner, and fewer ways to challenge decisions that affect your town. The focus won't be on local concerns, it will be on regional economic growth dictated from above.